Good day, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of my YouTube video series. And today I'm going to do a project review of Grand Medini Residences in Johor Bahru, Malaysia. Now, I'm going to recommend this project. There are some reasons to it, so watch this video to find out. And as per usual, let's start with an introduction on myself.
Director of Alpha Marketing at Ryan
Still in Skandar, Malaysia. So my name is Ryan. Nama saya Ryan.
6,000 incoming supply in Johor. This is
Thank you all.
I am writing a thank you for attending today's presentation on Skandar, Malaysia.
My name is Ryan Khoo and I'm a Malaysian. I'm a Singapore PR. I've been living in Singapore since 2009, so I'm half Singaporean in a sense. I'm a property investor. First at heart, right, I have bought many properties in Malaysia and Singapore, bought and sold. I have made my pots of gold in Malaysia as well as in Singapore, and I know contrary to popular opinion, you can make money in Malaysian property. I have done it at least, at least two rounds already, right? 2 rounds in 2 waves. Of course, Singapore as well. I'm a big proponent of Singapore property as well. I'm a property agent both in Singapore and Malaysia, licensed in both countries. And I've written 2 books on Iskandar, Malaysia, so I consider myself to be somewhat of a expert on the topic, right? And you will have seen me quite regularly in Singapore and Malaysia talking about the property investments in Malaysia, Singapore, and I've written articles for HProp. I've done events for Property Guru, iProperty, and you'll see me on stage with most senior property industry figures as well. So today I'm going to talk about a project called Grand Medini Residences. And this is a completed project, yeah. Completed in 2018. Right, and you can see actual photos, right? This is in Medini, right? For those of you who don't know, Medini is actually where Legoland is. So I'm sure most of you have heard of Legoland. So this project actually is a walking distance to Legoland. I think about 600 meters to Mall of Medini lah. Then Mall of Medini is basically next to Legoland. So all in under maybe 800 meters distance, right? And also this project is also next to the Gleneagles Hospital, right? If I give you a location map, right, you can see here there's a Gleneagles Medini. So Gleneagles Medini is just behind. So there's a hospital. This Gleneagles is Parkway Health, yeah. So the same Parkway Health in Singapore, right? So we do have a lot of people who stay or buy due to the proximity to this hospital. So Gleneagles Medini has been operating since I think 2017. So I think it's a quite popular hospital. If you watch my other videos, you can actually get much cheaper medical treatment here, high quality by Parkway Health, right? You can in fact use your MediSave here as well. So Gleneagles is just like opposite the road, and behind Gleneagles is actually where the Mall of Medini and Legoland is. So Legoland is a pretty large place. And Legoland is still operational. I mean, some people get concerned that Legoland not doing well, etc. They have actually budgeted a new capital expenditure program for this year, next year. They're going to do some upgrade works and maintenance works across the project. But I mean, Legoland as a business, I think they are still profitable. They do still get crowds, especially during school holidays and the weekends, right? And so this is the 2 closest what they call catalysts or points of interest near to Grand Medini Residences. If you look on the bigger map, actually, it's not very far away from EduCity, which is the education hub in this part of Johor. So this part of Johor is very popular for the schools. Lots of Koreans and Westerners like to come to this part of JB for the schooling. The big schools are, of course, Marlborough College, Raffles American School. There's also the Sunway International School and some other international schools in the vicinity, like Invictus from Singapore, Stellar in Puteri Harbour. These are all the schools which are actually quite short distance. I mean, in terms of driving, it's like a 5-10 minute distance from all the schools. And this environment, Medini in particular, these people like it because it's quiet, the roads are well planned, there's not much traffic, air is clean, environment is nice, right? So people like to be in this part of JB, where they feel the living environment is a lot more conducive for family, for example, and if you are a person who prefers the quiet and the green areas. In contrast to, say, JB City Centre, right? JB City Centre is more 乱, right? In Chinese, we say more busy, less well planned. Of course, more people, right, in JB City Centre, but it's also a lot more messy because that's the old town, right, compared to Medini, this part, which is the new town. And of course, Medini is within a short distance to Singapore via the second link. So second link is again, yeah, 10 kilometers away. By car, again, it's a quite short distance, maybe 15-20 minutes by car, right? So you can easily get back to Singapore via the second link. So this is the location of where Grand Medini is. Now, as a project, I said, completed in 2018. Now, this project, it is a leasehold, right? Leasehold 129 years, 129 years. And so it's not freehold. I know some of you may say, yeah, Ryan leasehold, then how? But this leasehold is not 99, yeah. This leasehold is 129. So 129 effectively means 99 plus 30. Plus 30 is actually additional 30 years on top of the 129 years. And if you think about it, like what I tell most people, you can pay off a 30-year mortgage, right? If you borrow to buy this property, and assuming you get a max loan of 30 years, you can pay off the 30 years and you still have a fresh 99-year lease. So what I'm trying to tell you, the extra 30 years is very practical in the sense, right? You can pay off the 30-year loan, you still have a 99-year property, and if you still want to sell at that point in time, which is 30 years later, yeah, a long time, right? A lot of buyers, who are buying a property with almost a fresh 99-year lease, which I think is a good thing. Yeah. So don't let the leasehold stop you too much, right? It is a 129 years is actually a very practical increase in tenure and actually gives a lot of additional lifespan to your property. So this is a full-fledged condominium. There are 3 towers, 672 units, right? Completed in 2018. So again, there's no risk of non-completion. The project has already been here, and because of that, there's a lot of trends and things that we can tell you about this property, which I think is something that we like. So sizes of all sizes are available. Now, here are some photos of Grand Medini. Now, you will probably notice one thing, and one big reason why I recommend Grand Medini, because the build quality is one of the best, probably the best in Medini right now, right? I think not even right now, for the foreseeable future, right? Because yeah, if you've been to Grand Medini, you will notice that the specs are very nice. The developer has used very high quality materials in the construction of this project, right? You can see the function room, the common area, the children playroom, and even the common area. You will see if you come and visit, right, that it is a very, very nice building. If you've been to quite a number of JB condos, you may realize that sometimes condos in JB, they are not built in high quality. Some so-called condos are actually quite average or poor quality, in fact, right? But Grand Medini does not have that problem. The build specs are very high. And you will notice it when you are here. These are some other photos of the lobby and the pool are very nice, right? And these are photos of the interior, right? So again, I want to highlight, this is a high specification building. As a Singaporean buyer, you will not feel that the build quality is inferior. You will feel that the build quality is quite nice and very good for the price that you are paying. Okay, so yeah, some photos of the furnished units, right? These are the what we call the 4-star furnishing that are sold by the developer, right? And you can see the sizes are quite generous. And again, in Malaysia, generally, property sizes are more generous compared to Singapore. Your rooms are bigger, your living hall is bigger. You can see, like, this is a 1-bedroom unit, right? You can see the living hall is as big as many so-called new condo, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom in Singapore. So the spaces are quite generous in Malaysia. And the kitchen cabinets here are high specs, very nice kitchen cabinets. Okay, in terms of facilities, this project has quite a healthy amount of facilities, which are quite nice. I'm thinking on the level 9, which is the facilities floor, they have a full 50-meter Olympic-sized swimming pool. They have a number of other play pools as well, jacuzzi, sauna, gym, quite nice gym. The multi-purpose hall has proper, what you call, hardwood flooring, terrace, barbecue terrace, and a very large children playground, much bigger than you would expect for a condo of this size. They have some rooftop facilities as well. Basically a very nice chill out deck that you can look out to see Singapore. If you see this photo here, this is actually Singapore. You can see Putri Harbour, see Singapore. Quite very nice. On a clear day, you can see, I think, up all the way into JBC Centre, Singapore, and actually towards the town and towards Skudai as well. So very nice roof terrace that you can rent as an owner, right? Which they also have a barbecue pantry on that floor as well. And security is pretty tight. You have a security guard house at the entrance. Each block lobby has their own security access. You need a card to go in, right? All the lift also require card tap again, and your unit has a Samsung digital door lock itself. So 4 layers of security there. I show you some floor plans. So Grand Medini does have a quite healthy amount of studio and 1-bedroom units. So out of the majority of the units, I think a lot of them are, the majority units are studio and 1-bedder, right? So you can see this studio are very functional. So there are two layouts, right? The for studio with the balcony here and without the balcony. So the smaller size, 474 square feet. I think these studios actually bigger than most studios in Singapore. In Singapore, this might be a 1-bedroom, but in Malaysia, this is a studio. So you can see very generous. They provide the kitchen cabinets, aircon, wardrobe provided, digital door lock provided. The bathroom is also fully done up. So actually, as an owner, you only need to buy some loose furniture, curtains, maybe some lighting. I think that's it, right? Which can be done for very cheap. I think under 20,000 ringgit, maybe even less, to fully fit out a unit of this size, right? So yeah, I mean, all the hard stuff, carpentry works already done up by developer. The minimum ones at least, you don't have to add on unless you really want to. So this is studio, very popular size. You can buy one of these for as low as 290,000 ringgit. Yeah. I will come to the pricing later, but if you convert that at today's exchange rate, it's only about 85,000 Sing, I think. Okay, 85,000 Sing, you can buy one of these already. 85,000 Sing, yeah, you can't even buy a COE. Yeah. You can buy 2 apartments here for the price of 1 COE in Singapore. Okay, more or less, right? So yeah, studio apartments here, right? This is the 1-bedroom with the proper bedroom, right? But this unit type, I think, mostly sold, if I'm not wrong. There is only one left, again with balcony, without balcony. This is the 2-bedroom, but actually the 2-bedroom, in my opinion, in terms of layout, the 2nd bedroom is quite small. If you notice here, this 2-bedroom, the bedroom 2 is quite small. It can only fit a single bed. So in some cases, I like to call this a 1+1, right, rather than a 2-bedroom. Again, this is the no balcony and with balcony layouts, the 2 types. One is with balcony, one with balcony, one no balcony, right? But in both cases, the bedroom 2 quite small. So sometimes I like to call this a 1+1 instead of a 2-bedroom. And similarly, the 3-bedroom, you will see that the 3rd bedroom is quite small, the bedroom 3. So this is actually closer to a 2+1 rather than a 3-bedroom per se. But at 915 square feet, it's nearer to a 2+1. Yeah, I mean, in that sense. Right. So, but again, very healthy kitchen sizes and room sizes in general. Wardrobes all provided, aircon provided, kitchen all done up with the hob, hood, oven, right, all given, right? So you only need to buy loose furniture, curtains, some lights, right, and that's it. Which all you need, you can get at IKEA. There's IKEA and JB, or any furniture electrical shop, or you can get any. Most furniture companies or ID companies can do a simple design finishing for you. One-stop shop, settle everything for you, right? If you need one, you can call me. I can recommend some for you. So this is the with balcony design, right? Again, no balcony, with balcony, right? And they also have a dual key. For those of you interested in dual key, there's also a dual key layout, which is a studio plus a 2-bedroom as well. So this one also comes with balcony design, I believe. Yeah, but this one also have a few units left. Okay, so as a project, this project, Grand Medini Residences, is roughly 70+% sold. Is it 70+%? No, actually left 100 units. They got more than 70, actually 85% sold. Right, sales have been going on for the past 1 year, ever since border reopened with Singapore last year. I think we've had a lot of inquiries come back. The JB property market has recovered quite a lot. So a lot of people have come back to buy. Grand Medini is popular because of the affordability, right? I think in terms of per square foot, we are looking at below 700 ringgit, 600 plus ringgit per square foot, right? Which is cheaper quite a bit compared to some of the condos in city center, right? If you notice today, some of the other condos I talk about, like R&M Princess Cove, which are in town, right? They are probably hovering around 1,000 ringgit per square feet on average, right? Whereas condos further away, for example, like this, it's only 600 plus per square feet, which is cheaper, like 40%, right? So in that sense, there's a lot of value for money over here. For the quality of the property that you're buying, right? You're paying 30-40% less. And you can also buy small units, right, like studio, and you can take a loan, right? That's another thing. There are banks who can finance you, public banks, CIMB, Bank of China. They give you bank loan for this project, right? And you can buy with very, very little down payment, right? I think you don't even need more than, I think, 10, 20,000, 30,000 Sing dollars, maybe. Yeah, not more than that. Yeah, I think 10, 20,000, no more than 30,000 Sing dollars, I think, to buy a unit here. Right, and very low quantum required, right, to get a property here in JB, right, for whatever purpose that you deem it for. So 3 blocks A, B, C, right? All of them face inward towards the pool. Block C in this direction has the Gleneagles Hospital, and also can see Legoland, right? But I mean, we can talk about which are the best stacks. I think the pool facing is not bad. Actually, even face towards Putri Harbour is not bad. Or Tower A facing outside to the north towards JB City, also I think not bad in terms of the view, right? That will be my preferences. Now the good thing about buying in Medini, which if I've not covered or mentioned earlier, is that as a foreigner, if you're Singaporean or any nationality, whether you're Chinese or Indian or Indonesian, right? If you want to buy in Medini, Medini has one advantage, which is you do not have to buy above 1 million ringgit, right? Some of you may have heard in Malaysia, in general, you have to buy property 1 million ringgit and above for foreigners. This is the threshold for foreigners. But for Medini, this restriction does not apply. You can, in theory, buy any price also in Medini, right? There is no price restriction for Medini. Medini is a zone where they try to encourage foreigners to buy. So in Medini, in this case, if you can find a property for 200,000, 300,000 ringgit, you can also buy, you are eligible as a foreigner. And in this case, the cheapest units in Medini, of course, because of the size, are the studios. And in theory, you can buy the studio here for 290,000 ringgit only, right? Which is, like I said, not even 85, which is about 85,000 Sing lah. And you can buy. Singapore eligible, yeah. So if you're the type, wow, right, I can buy this, 85,000 Sing, Singapore cannot buy a car, some second car also cost more. Yes, you are right. Actually, you can actually buy this this Medini studio, right? Or one bedder at around this kind of price, and there's no quotas, right? You can buy as many as you want, you can sell anytime. There's no booming quota, things like that. And then of course, you don't have to pay RPGT, but I think this one maybe probably difficult to achieve because the RPG is at the end of 2025 only, but I'll skip this. You can ask me more if you want to find out what's real property gain tax, right? Ask me in detail, right? And of course, there are other incentives for people to stay in Medini, which may or may not apply to you. For example, they give people who have a high income to work in Malaysia, they give a flat 15% income tax rate, right? Of course, you need to qualify for this, but you need to work in the Medini. This is if you have some employment in Medini. And of course, Medini, to encourage certain businesses to come here, they give a 10 years income tax free for businesses in these industries. Actually, in this one, I think the ones that have benefited the most in Medini zone are actually the international schools, right, in this area, because they also benefit from the 10 years tax free. Schools is one thing. Healthcare basically is Gleneagles Hospital. They also don't pay tax, right, as a business for next 10 years. That's why they're so cheap, right? Legoland for tourism, and actually a lot of business process outsourcing, which actually they part under ICT and creative. So we have a lot of BPO businesses. I don't know whether you're familiar with this term, like your back office for call center, your back office for IT, right? There's a lot of these businesses now in Medini doing this business because they can enjoy tax benefits here. I think this is also one industry that's doing very well in Medini. And these are the people who are staying in Medini today, providing employment and the residents who are the population of Medini today, right? This also, standard people apply for. The standard resident profiles apply. Those who work in Singapore, right? They also rent in Medini because Medini is a high quality building and they can afford to pay, right? In these locations for a nicer place to stay, right? Those who work in Singapore. So on top of this, right? These are the typical resident profile that you see in area like Medini. Okay, so price range is like this. So as I mentioned, studio cheapest is 294,000 ringgit at today's exchange rate. This is about 85,000 Sing only. You can buy two of these, can buy one COE, right? One bedroom, I think this is the last unit left, about 104,000. Two bedder, three bedder, these are the prices here. So you can see below 200k Sing, you can buy a property. So like I said, very value for money in terms of the what do you call that? What you are getting. Right, I believe this for sure, Medini, right? You pay at this, I think developer hardly make money at this price, hardly. This is close to their break-even price. They make very minimal return considering they've held this property since 2018, right? So in that sense, very good value for money. Okay, so if you're looking to retire in JB or buy a property in JB with a low outlay, right? I think Medini is one good option to consider, because next time, even when you sell, one thing good about Medini is next time if you want to sell to another Singaporean, you must remember Medini got no price restriction for foreigners. So even the next time the Singaporean he want to buy from you, he can buy in Medini, there's no price restriction. So if the Singaporean next time 10 years from now, 15 years from now, he want to buy Medini, he's I don't have to pay 1 million ringgit. I can buy at whatever price that you buy, and you usually buy so cheap, right? So next time when you sell to them, they can also afford, right, to buy from you. And because they can buy, Medini don't have this price restriction, which I think is one very big benefit of buying Medini that a lot of people overlook, right? So whether, so like I said, whether it buys an investment or it's an own stay, retirement place, right? I think Medini has this one advantage. That's also easy for you to exit next time in the future, right? And not only Malaysian, Singaporean, like I said, for Malaysian as well, if they want to buy from you, right, these prices are already quite low, very affordable. I think in JB today, or even in Malaysia in general, it's very difficult for developers moving forward to build at prices below 600 per square foot. I think below 600 per square foot, they are 亏本one, they are lose money one, or they are, I don't know, the land price will be zero, right? Because construction cost alone is one thing, right? Haven't factored in land price and their profit margin, right? So actually, for a lot of developers in Malaysia, if they cannot sell at above 600, no point to build, right? No point to build. So at this price, 600 plus per square foot, I think is already very, very cheap, very value for money. Buy in case you cannot afford something expensive or pricier in the JB City Center, right? Okay, so if you look at rental, now rental is very strong. Now I've talked about this in many of my videos that rental in JB today is very, very strong. And rental, I think today for the Studio One bedder, you can easily hit 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5 ringgit per square foot. That will give you a rental yield of at least 4 . I mean, you should be getting nearer to 5 actually at today's rental rate But I put 4 because I want to be conservative, okay? But if you look at all the rental postings online, generally they're pointing at 4, minimum 4 very conservative 4. It should be nearer to 5% rental demand today. And this is to show to you how high rental demand is. And also I want to point that this also reflects that a lot of agents today got no stock in JB for rental. You'd be very, very surprised, no stock. Say, Ryan, are you sure? You see so many empty unit? Yeah, but empty unit in Medini, I think not many, right? Empty unit in other parts of maybe Forest City, got empty units, right? Forest City is very, very remote. But in town center, in more prime locations, right? Definitely, there are not a lot of rental stock available, and this should give you a healthy 4 to 5% rental yield for this. And in fact, if you try to do Airbnb, right, short-term rentals, you can find a good operator, you should hit above 5, actually nearer to 6, right? But again, I don't want to speculate too much because the problem with Airbnb is the incomes are very what do you call it, seasonal. Sometimes you get very high rent, sometimes you get lower, and the problem is we don't know how long these trends will last, right? But definitely, I think if you do Airbnb today, nearer to 6% is possible. We do see a lot of Malaysian buyers who buy in Medini. They do give out to Airbnb operators to try and hit that extra yield, right? Okay, and with the intention that if really the Airbnb cannot make it, at least they take back and do long-term rents and get a minimum of 4 to 5%, right? So yeah, so these are for the bigger units, quite decent rentals today. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, at 300,000 ringgit to buy a studio, you can't even buy a new car, you can't even buy a COE in Singapore today. Of course, Singapore rentals are very high, and this has pushed out a lot of people to rent into JB, right? So JB has been a beneficiary, right, from the spillover effect from Singapore, right? So who is the developer? Developer is his name is Grand Global Development. They are based in KL, Selangor today. Originally from Terengganu, they're actually the owners of the very famous resort called Laguna Redang, for those of you who have been to Redang Island before, right? And they have completed a number of projects in Malaysia. They're not new. They have a very big project called Grand Damansara in TJ today, right? And this developer, I think, very strong. Don't worry about the financial profile. I think strata title also being issued right now. So I think no concerns in that sense in terms of the developer. In fact, I think one thing good about this developer, they have pushed for very high spec building, right? Even the time when the market was bad, also they pushed to build a good product, which was kudos to them. And we have a great product today in Grand Medini, right? So how does this work? There's a booking fee of 500 ringgit only. You place a booking, then you go apply your loan, right? If your loan is rejected, we will refund this 500 ringgit to you, right? And SPA legal fees and loan legal fees are absorbed by the developer. There'll be some miscellaneous legal fee you need to pay, right, for the what we call miscellaneous costs, right, but not a lot, right. If you are a Singaporean, you do have to pay a state consent fee, which is 2% or 20,000, whichever is higher, right. If you are Singaporean or non-Malaysian, basically, right. So I think if you buy a studio, you will kena this 20,000 ringgit but bo pian, no choice. This minimum have to pay, right. But this only applies to Singaporean, and this is the non-Malaysian. Right, and this is the only price difference between you and a Malaysian buyer. Malaysian don't have to pay, but Singaporean or other foreigners have to pay this. Right? Otherwise, the price is the same. Right, there is no pricing difference between you. Consider this like something like an ABSD, like a Singapore ABSD. Right, you can get financing from banks in Malaysia. Right, generally up to 70%. Right, you can get lower if you want. If you don't want so much loan, right, if you want 50% loan, 40% loan, up to you. But I think most banks will lend you up to 70%. Quite safely. Maintenance fees is 38 cents, which I think translates to about maybe 100 over ringgit for a studio unit, which is quite not expensive, in all things considered. Okay. So why I also like Medini in one sense is, although these catalysts are a little bit down the road, right? I think right now, if you watch me on my YouTube and my TikTok, you realize that I like to talk about RNF Princess Cove because the MRT is coming to JB, right, in 2026, right? And I think when the MRT comes in 2026, the whole of the JB property market will experience a lift. How much of the lift depends on how near are you to the MRT, but overall, whole Johor Bahru property market will have a lift, right? Because suddenly go to JB is a lot easier by MRT, right? But projects like Medini here, like Grand Medini, which are further away from the MRT, you will not benefit from the MRT as much, right? But of course, there's some benefit because got MRT better than no MRT, right? Okay, even though the MRT is still 30 minutes or 40 minutes away from you. But I think other catalysts that people probably have not factored in is the high-speed rail. Now, the high-speed rail was a project announced in 2013, right, where we will build a high-speed rail from Singapore, Jurong East. There's a stop in JB, and then all the way goes to KL, right? Actually, there's also some other stops in Malacca, Seremban as well. But the important thing was that you could take a train, a high-speed train from Singapore, Jurong East to KL in 90 minutes, right? But to Johor, the big benefit is that the train also stops in JB on this side, on the second link, right? And from there, you to Medini is a short distance only. So if the high-speed rail project was initially cancelled, so announced in 2013 and then cancelled in 2020, right? I don't want to go into a too long story, but announced in 2013, cancelled in 2020, right? And now the new Malaysian government, they are trying to bring back this project, okay? And I think by the time Singapore sees a new proposal, it will be sometime next year in 2024. Now, if the high-speed rail does come back, or at least we have concrete planning works again, I'm sure the whole Iskandar Puteri area, including Medini, will see a bump again, because this is the key major infrastructure project that the whole west of Johor wants to get, right? So if the high-speed rail does come back, and we know that it's been discussed in the Malaysian government right now, right? And if you do see this gets eventually coming back again, this is a big benefit for the whole of Medini as well. So this is one big catalyst potentially coming, right, or in the future. Second is also the special economic zone. Now, we have seen this again in the media as well. We know that the Malaysian and Singaporean governments are talking about this to create a special economic zone in Johor, a new one that includes Medini, and we know this area will be in Iskandar Puteri in general, where certain incentives can be given so that we can attract businesses from Singapore to come and operate in Medini, right? And this is also another thing. We are pending announcements only, if not this month in October, probably November or December. We're just waiting for the governments to come up with the details of this. This is another point that will definitely push up Medini, because Medini is part of this special economic zone. And the third thing, which I think is quite important, is there hardly any new supply in this area. Now, many of you would like to point out to me that, Ryan, property market in JB didn't do well in the past 5-10 years. You are right, right? There was an oversupply, right? And this oversupply has been causing the market to be bad, right? A lot of people who bought property in JB in the past 5-10 years didn't make money, lose money, right? And I think the good news is that because of the downturn, there has hardly been any new supply as well. No one is building new projects in JB. I think we only probably have one other project in Medini being built right now. They're also quite early stage, right? Other than that, there's no other supply coming in. So that's very, very healthy for the market, because you don't want too much supply keep pumping in and then you jialat, right? The oversupply will never be resolved, okay? But if the supply keeps going down, because there's still people buying today, right? We will reach a point where the oversupply will be over or balanced out again. And that's very healthy in JB. Hardly new supply in this area, right? Which is good for the property market overall. So I think if you buy Medini, you don't have to worry about competition, right? Or at least new competition for the next few years, right? Easily next 4-5 years until the MRT is up in JB, and by then you may have high-speed rail again as well. So I think it's a very good point. So my reason for Medini is, like I said, if you're looking for something affordable, high quality building to enjoy, to live, they can give you a very decent rental yield as well, Grand Medini Residences is my preferences purely for these reasons above. Not expensive, good value for money, right? You don't have to pay a very high price, right? If you cannot afford it, right? This is something definitely within affordable for practically any Singaporean in Singapore, right? So I think as affordable as it gets, and my number one recommendation if you were trying to buy something out of JB City Centre. Okay, so if you like the viewing, like I said, the good news about Grand Medini, because the units are completed, you can come and see the actual units itself, right? they're already completed, like say for 5 years, come and view, see how well the maintenance is in the project, right? Get some confidence, right? And see how near it is to Gleneagles, how near it is to Legoland, right? And this will give you confidence that the location is nice. And yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my review of the project and my reasons why I think it's a good buy, right? I'm doing this because we want to provide some alternatives. Because people always ask me, Ryan, other than R&M Francisco, what else do you like to, what else do you think is a good buy in JB? So for condo, I think this is another option which I think is a good buy for people. And if you need to find out more, do reach out to me at my number 81261626, or you can my Malaysian number is also there as well, or my Facebook, or you can scan here this QR code to join our mailing list. And if you enjoy our content, do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and to get more videos about buying properties in Singapore, Malaysia, and other tips and recommendations of how to maximize your investment or your stay or experience in Johor, Malaysia moving forward. Yeah, so thank you very much. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.